Hi students, I hope you guys are doing okay. Ms. McKittrick here. Mr. McKittrick is videotaping right now.
Good morning.
We are going to go over a quick introduction lesson of what the next 7 weeks of school are going to look like. So over the next 7 weeks, we are going to learn or relearn about these 7 characteristics of life and in this order, okay? The whole point of this is as we learn about this, our guiding question for the rest of the year is COVID-19 or the coronavirus a living or a non-living thing? Okay, so for the next few days, we are going to focus on metabolism and energy and what that has to do with being alive. To help us get started with this, we are going to learn about some vocab terms. And in Google Classroom, I've asked you guys to go over these vocab terms and type them out, okay? The first vocab term is energy. So energy is what gives living things power to stay alive. And for us on Earth, our ultimate source of energy is the sun. Now, not all energy can just come directly from the sun. Sometimes we have to convert or change energy. And a rule is, Kelly, is that energy can never be created or destroyed. Instead, it can be converted or changed from one form to another. For example, when energy comes from the sun, we just can't go outside and suck up all that energy and get that energy into our bodies. It first has to be changed into sugar. And this happens inside plants through a process called photosynthesis, which we're going to learn about the next few days. Then, after it becomes sugar, it gets converted when we eat plants, when we eat that sugar, into something in our bodies called ATP, which just means energy in your body. And we'll learn more about that after we learn about photosynthesis. Now, this other word I've thrown out there is metabolism. Your metabolism is all the chemical processes that are happening inside your body that is converting energy and keeping us alive. Sometimes you hear about people having a fast metabolism. A fast metabolism would be people that eat and they burn through all the energy from their food really quickly. Usually people with a faster metabolism are skinnier, and people with a slower metabolism, it takes longer. And sometimes that excess energy is changed into fat in your body. Finally, when we're talking about a lot of this energy stuff, we are going to show you guys different types of reactions, okay? Now, when we're talking about a chemical reaction, sometimes we'll write it out like this. This is called a formula. Now, we are going to use 2 vocab terms, reactants and products. Reactants are what goes into the reaction, okay? Products are what we produce or what comes out. So I gave you guys a simple reaction here. It's also in your notes sheet. The reactants are what goes in. So in this case, our reactants are carbon dioxide and water. Now the reactants in this case are written out 2 ways. And this is the chemical way with the elements. CO2 is carbon dioxide and H2O is water. And I've also written them out in words. Carbon dioxide plus water. The arrow right here represents the reaction taking place, or in other words, things being converted or changed from one thing to another. The other side, the arrow always points at what is produced, what are the products. So in this case, the products were sugar, C6H12O6, or another word for sugar is glucose, you'll see that sometimes, plus oxygen. The biggest thing is what goes in are the reactants and what comes out are the products. The final thing that we are going to talk about is how all of this links together to keep us alive. So, as I previously mentioned, the ultimate source of energy is the sun. This is our big reactant. So, what happens is the sun shines down on plants, okay? And these plants are going to go through a process called photosynthesis. They're going to suck up the sun's energy in a special part of a plant called a chloroplast, and they are going to convert or change that energy into sugar and oxygen. So, in other words, these are going to be our products. And actually, I'm going to switch this. I used blue for reactants and red So sun gets sucked up and it gets converted or changed into our products, which in this case are sugar and oxygen. Besides the sun, plants also need water and carbon dioxide to go through photosynthesis. So these are also reactants. Notice the things that are going in are called reactants. They're represented by the blue arrows. And what is coming out are the products represented by the red arrow. So really quickly, water and carbon dioxide are sucked up by plants with the sun, goes through photosynthesis, and it produces sugar and oxygen, which is good for us. Sugar is going to give us energy. Oxygen is what we breathe. Okay? Now, the next process is called cellular respiration. What cellular respiration does is it takes these reactants, or these products from photosynthesis, and it uses them as reactants, so we're going to start with them, to go through this process called cellular respiration. Now, cellular respiration pretty much takes place in a form in all living things, but specifically in anything that has a mitochondria. This is plants, this is animals, all of these things go through cell respiration. Callie, hush, be a good student, okay? So sugar and oxygen go in, and what is produced are three products. The first thing is called ATP. ATP is a molecule that is going to power all life on Earth, okay? The other products are water and carbon dioxide. This is why we breathe out carbon dioxide. And if you notice, what we end with in cellular respiration, energy to stay alive, water and carbon dioxide, is what we then need to start photosynthesis. So this is a cycle of life. As the sun gives us energy, photosynthesis turns it into sugar and oxygen. Cell respiration takes that sugar and oxygen, creates ATP to power life, to keep us all alive. Our waste products from that are water and carbon dioxide, which then get back absorbed by plants, and the process starts over again. The final little piece down here is that sometimes we release extra energy. Remember I said energy can never be created or destroyed. Sometimes excess energy is released into the universe or the environment as heat. Think about it this way. When you are working out and you are exerting a lot of energy, your body gives off a lot of excess heat. This is part of the reason why you're sweating, part of the reason why you're hot to the touch. Or if you think about if you've ever been in a really crowded space, like homecoming, right? And you guys are all hanging out and you're all dancing. It actually feels really, really hot in that space because everyone's giving off excess energy. So once again, this process is what we're going to be learning about the next couple days. But this is the first characteristics of life, energy, how energy keeps us alive, and thinking about where do we get our energy from. Okay, good luck on your worksheet.